Good morning, everybody. Sorry, just fumbling around with some technology here. Welcome back to, this is day 22 of NaNoWriMo, which means it's also day 22, or episode 22 of Prisma Arena, the animated series. It's the start of season 4, episode 1. And it's also Anita's birthday today. So, not that she's watching, but happy birthday, Anita. We're celebrating together today. So we had a kind of epic climax at the end of season 3, and I think most things kind of wrapped up. I was just kind of going back over my notes to see what are the kind of outstanding threads and seeing all of the characters that I've created over the course of the show. So that's been kind of really interesting to see. I will turn off my banner here because I think I'll know it's this. So far, I think the last episode ended with the Infinity Coalition had created this, what they call the lure, which was basically a beacon that would attract despair to its source. And the idea was that they could kind of use this technically to kind of lure it away, but also to kind of to be able to study despair more. And the Merchants Guild had been aiding them because they saw this as a great way of, again, kind of sowing on unrest, and by doing that, being able to kind of control prices and earn, kind of control the markets that way as well. So basically profit from the threat of despair arriving if they could manipulate this, and they decided to kind of test it out on Keyport. Now, our heroes did manage to stop them just about. So they failed to do it directly themselves, but with the aid of the Guardians of Hope, they were able to kind of slow despair's approach, and then the Guardians were able to redirect them to back into the kind of the wasteland. Which was the Plains of Nothing, I think. So they returned to the school, to Beacon, and to the Prisma Academy, and they brought with them the children they had rescued that were being kind of, I think, studied by the Infinity Coalition to kind of better understand how Prisma worked and see if they could kind of extract it for their purposes. So I think in kind of game terms, I think the Infinity Coalition would be like chaotic evil. They're kind of like just knowledge is everything, and so they're not too worried about what happens to people in the pursuit of that. And the Merchants Guild are just kind of like self-interested. So I think we're going to open the next series back in Beacon at the Prisma Academy. We do know that I'm going to bring her up. And just so many names now, I'm losing track of. So I think just going to switch views here to here. So Damona's parents are still missing. They're last spotted in Keyport, but they, I think, learned something from the Shruma, which are a kind of a forest living race of essentially kind of mushroom type creatures. And they've learned something, but they are currently missing, and their whereabouts are unknown. So that's kind of like the biggest thread, I think, that's hanging loose. There is still also always the kind of the risk of despair arriving as well. I'm just noticing a glare back up here. So see, our shiny Untold box has a habit of picking up the light. Okay. So I think we're just going to jump in. I did switch up some cubes, and I've probably made my life really tough as a result of it. Okay, so I've kept this one in because there's also that thread of the Ravona, the Raven Ninjas. So I've kind of left that in the hopes that they turn up at some point. as part of the story. The main reason for that. So I've also introduced a intergalactic cube. So I'm kind of curious to see how that might show up. That's probably like the biggest spanner in the works in this set. Speaking of spanner, we've got our wrench. This is from Disaster, I think it is. Yeah. So I'm kind of curious what we'll create with this. This one is also from, I think it's from Rescue actually, this set. So it could have some interesting elements. I kept this Voyages set in because, I mean, there's actually lots of icons here that have developed meanings over the course of the series. So I think that'll be interesting to keep. Again, this is from Rescue. And we've got another Disaster set. I love this, one of my favorite icons of like blink. There's something kind of landing on their head as a warning of something to come. One icon, one cube from Clues, so it'd be a bit more investigative, and then another one from Voyages as well. Just something with the egg kind of appeals to me. Yeah, so I'm making my life tough, but we'll see how it goes. I can always change them in a later episode. So I think we're going to jump straight in and flip over the first tile to see what happens. Yeah, so again, we're playing with the kind of 4 characters who are our kind of 4 heroes here. Just gotta bend over and grab this again. Okay, so we've got our 4 kind of novices from the Prisma Arena who are kind of punching above their weight at the moment. Okay, so I'm going to roll the story cubes. Well, so we've got so the episode opens at some location where a threat has captured someone or something. Okay, so I'm going to go for the stray. Let's see what we've got. Okay. I think. Well, I did say I wanted to kind of bring them back in. So I think the episode opens and it is. I think it's kind of early morning. And it is a. So I'm going to say it's kind of in a laboratory. So it is a laboratory. Where is it? Let's keep it close to home. So I think it's a laboratory in Beacon. And so where is it? Actually, so this I'm thinking of like the children from the last episode who were being kind of experimented on. So I think in their sleeping quarters in the Prisma Academy, I think, yeah, we spy. I gotta get her name because we heard she was doing this. Mjora, who is a member of the Ravona, the Raven Ninjas, she is sneaking through and kind of looking at all the sleeping bodies. Sorry, I'm looking at my notes here as I'm doing it. So she's looking at the sleeping bodies and she's managed to get through the security. And my thread did say that they had Ravona took children from the valleys, so she had from the valley. Oh, the Ravona had taken children from the valley. That was in. Yes, that location was. That location was in Weeping Hollow. So, but she had been taking them, I think, for the spare. So I think she has. Oh, hang on. So yes, so she's in the sleeping chamber, in the kind of sleeping chambers, but she's searching for. She has captured something. Yeah, I think she's been kind of. We kind of see from behind that she is kind of like rooting through bags, kind of checking the faces of the children as they're sleeping. And to be honest, like right now, I don't know what it is that she's looking for. I'm not going to assume what that is, but she is searching for something. So I want to figure out what is she searching for. Or what has she taken? I think she has taken. Okay, so I'm going to say she was searching for the youngest child. So I'm kind of using the egg. So she's searching for the youngest child, who is a, I think a, I think a small girl who has, I think they've been kind of, I'd say as part of the kind of testing that she's had her hair cut really short and it's just kind of growing back. So it's kind of a bit scraggly. So she's taken this girl, and I think as she is escaping from the building, a child, one of the other children, kind of wakes up and sees her climbing out the window. Yeah, so I think I'm going to ask, how are we alerted? Sorry, I shouldn't be assuming. How are we alerted to this? Actually, so I'm going to use this. I think one of the actually, I'm going to use this. I'm going to say one of the children has actually gone out to the bathroom and is kind of wandering in, bleary-eyed, and is wiping their eyes, and sees. I'm going to have to leave the book open on her name so I can remember. Sees Majora and kind of yells for help. And so they wake up, and I think Majora kind of leaps through the window. And so I think the alarm goes off and everyone's kind of awoken. And I think because we hear it's a member of the Ravona, we rush to figure out what's going on. Again, I think we run to Omax to I think to tell him about what we'd learned, that they were trying to. We had heard that they were trying to take children from the valley, and they must have come here to do it. So I think we. Well, I think we're going to set out in search and see if we can. So we asked him kind of which way the boy saw them go, and he kind of points out the window and over the kind of the rooftops, and says they went that way. So we set out in search. So we say, oh, they're headed for the kind of east entrance. So we set out in search of them, and hopefully we can try and intercept them. Okay, so I think we do. Oh, I wasn't expecting that. Nope. So I think we start kind of bailing after them, and we turn a corner. And actually, Natalia's Majora is right there in front of us with the girl who we recognize as let's see, Clarza. So I'm going to say a child of Prisma. So we spot Clarza, and we, I think, just summon our Mokon, because I think we've been caught off guard by her before. And yeah, I think we just kind of Jasan yells kind of stop her, and I think Eleanor is going to do a kind of, I think she's got the most control over her Prisma. She's going to do a focused kind of blast to try and stun Majora. Let's see. No, I think she misses. I think Majora easily kind of dives out of the way to avoid that. And I think then we are going to alert, I think we call Omax. I think Vika calls Omax to alert the guards that they are here to try and come and help capture her. Okay, so they arrive, but I think so. They arrive, but I think she puts up a struggle, and in doing so, Jasan is kind of injured as a result of that. Let me see. No, they arrive, and I think. Yeah. So Jasan is going to make a note saying that he's injured. I think she does like a kind of roundhouse kick and throws him against the wall, and he kind of slumps. So I think we've got her captured. And we question her about why is she here and what does she want with Clarza. These are interesting. So I think she says that I'm going to switch the dice here. I think she says I am returning her to her kind of her rightful home, and I don't think she means her parents. So when she's pushed on that, she just say, "Well, what do you mean?" And she says, "Well, Clarza is part of a bigger puzzle, and it's your and she says, and even I don't know the bigger picture. But I think her suspicion is she was planning to take her to the bringers, I guess, who had been trying to study children who were strong in Prisma. So we ask her, like, well, where were you taking her? Okay. So I'm going to say she's taken her to a kind of remote location called I think Wailing Falls. So yeah. So it's kind of Wailing Falls are like a famous giant waterfall in the land of Solace, I think. So the waterfall, and I think one base of the bringers. Or it's a kind of a research base. So it's research base, I think, hidden behind there. Don't trust her. She's kind of like a bit too forthcoming with that information. So we'll see what happens. Okay, so we've got Clarissa back. We have, well, let's see. So while we're talking to her, Jura, we're going to discover something. She's got a dark agenda. I think she has been promised that. So I'm kind of looking at these two things. I think she's been promised that if she helps, that the bringers will basically no. So the bringers haven't promised it, but her kind of agenda is by helping them to study Prisma, that it might help unlock her own, which she doesn't have, and she wants those kind of extra powers for herself. Yeah, I think that's it. So she's plans basically to take the knowledge, or kind of steal the knowledge that the bringers have gathered or unearthed, and use it for herself. So the question is, how do we learn that? So whilst talking to her, I think so how is this information revealed to us? I think because it's kind of still in the same scene. I think so. We discover this. So this is kind of like so I'm going to use this like I think an informant. So one of our I think Jasan gets a call in saying that, not Jasan, Omax kind of receives a call when he reports that names. When he reports that Majora is being captured, someone on the other end of the comm says, Majora of the Ravona. Hang on a second. And you hear this kind of like typing away and kind of searching for information. And they come back and say, yeah, we've got reports in that I think she approached the actual academy as well. I think, or she'd been caught basically inquiring about and kind of researching how to unlock your Prisma. That she has been to the kind of Temple of Tnal with the monks, and she's been here, but under a different disguise. And maybe it's when they see her face that under her name it wasn't Endure, but when they see her face, they realize that she had been to Beacon previously and had been kind of inquiring about and kind of researching how to kind of unlock Prisma. And so they kind of question her about this. And she reveals that's her plan. So the I think we asked, well, like, why didn't you just so her secret agenda is to get that information. So she wants to kind of get this child to them. So why didn't you just because I need this to kind of catalyze the action forward. So she needs to bring this child to them because she needs to unlock the Prisma for herself, because I'm guessing I don't know if it's tied up with kind of protecting her sister. Maybe she sees it as the only way for her to be able to protect her sister, who's kind of a member of the Water Boys. I don't know if that's enough, though. I think she kind of wants that power for herself. Well, we're gonna ask, well, what do you plan? What is she planning to do with that prison power? Because I think it's kind of like a revenge story or something. I I think she has been touched by despair, and so it's kind of like seeping into her body. And she says, "If I can't if I can't find a way to, to kind of ignite my prisma, that kind of flame within, I'm going to be lost, and I do not want that to happen." Okay, I think I'll leave it at that. So I think the important thing is we've learned that she was planning to take Clarissa to the falls, the I call them the weeping, the Wailing Falls. So I think we're going to try and do a run on that base. We'll see what happens. Let's try and deal with that. I have an idea. Yeah, so let me do this first. So I'm going to spend an idea token and say we kind of make an arrangement with Majora or Andorra to the academy will help her with her kind of essentially her infection from despair, and help deal with the spread of despair if she helps us out. And she said, "What do you have planned?" So let's see if we can roll it. So we cut to I'm going to head to a location. Excuse me. So I think there's any bunch of these that I could use. So I think I'll use this icon as the kind of the laboratory. So we're going to head to the laboratory of located in Wailing Falls, and there's Omax. There's kind of other guardians there. There's Amjora and the four of us, and we're basically kind of dressed to look younger, and we're going to try and pass off as the children that have been captured by Amjora. So we arrive at the camp where we try to the laboratory. The kind of ship lands, and Amjora guides us in, where I think So I'm going to try to. I've never tried it this way before because I always assume it starts with an attack. But we try to get in to the building. So I'm going to see how far we can get in terms of kind of finding out about what's happening here. So, so I'm going to see if we can kind of like. First thing is, do we get past the? We try to get past the guards by kind of bluffing our way in as being captives, and try and get to the kind of, I guess, the key decision makers or the kind of key scientists here. And this is really scary because we are like, yeah, I just realized actually we're kind of in the kind of home of despair. So everywhere we look, there's like there's followers of, the scientists would be followers of despair. I think there are bringers here, not too many, but acting as kind of guards. But the mostly followers of despair. And okay, so we're going to try and kind of bluff our way through so that we can meet the person that Endura had arranged to meet. Okay, so we do succeed. And I think we are, I think they're pretty deadpan and they're just kind of completely taken about what we're doing. So I think we can maybe get some more information because it is a bonus. So we managed to get there. And what would be a cool thing to get out of this? So we talk to them, and yeah, I think they're actually like, they don't really hold anything back. So I think we ask him, like, why do you want us? Because we're the kids. Like, what are you planning to do with us? Okay. We want to It says we just want to study you. So that we can see firsthand the effects of despair on hope and how it can be used to actually kind of prevent. So how we can kind of extinguish hope. So we can find better ways for despair to extinguish hope, to be more effective at that. So I think while he's distracted, I think we're going to, we've maybe got some kind of hidden cameras with us, and we're going to try and like capture as much, like record. Yeah, we're going to try and record this conversation. Actually, we don't need to get the other stuff. We're going to record the conversation with him. And basically transmit it back live to Omax, who's kind of and the Guardians who are waiting outside. Okay, so they get the information. Okay, this is going too well. It's got to go wrong somewhere. So we managed to transmit the information back, and I think they decide at that point that they've got everything they need. So I'm gonna see it. So they've got everything they need, and I think the just to tie it all together. Then I think what happens then is that they come out of hiding and launch their kind of attack on the base, and the sirens go off. And there's a message going like, kind of, there's been a breach, and I think this scientist turns and looks at us and says, "What have you done?" And so I'm going to use that for the scientist to attack us, and I think there's probably like items or devices in the lab that he kind of turns and grabs this. I'm gonna say, I'm just gonna roll and see what he's got, what he's grabbed. Got this tip from someone. So actually, he doesn't grab something. I think he presses, like, hits an alarm, and these kind of guard dogs, so I'm gonna put them together, come racing in to attack us. And so they leap, and I think they've been touched by this bear. I see if the power of our essentially Dawn, our confidence, and Guava affection is enough to kind of contain them. So I think Demona, who's quite close to, has a strong connection with Guava, summons Guava to try and kind of like literally smother the dogs in. Let's see, what are we going to call them? Because we don't have normal animals here. Let's give them a name. I think Barku. So they're kind of like hound-like creatures. So these Barku come kind of running in, and Demonis summons Grava the Affectionate. So she isn't able to stop them. But I think we recognize that the dogs are in pain, that they have and because of that, that's kind of what's causing them to act erratically, that they've kind of been infected with despair. So I think Eleanor, who kind of has a more healing approach, I think she's going to channel her Prisma into them as a form of healing, and she's going to summon Pian to help her with that. So Pian represents pain and hurt. So she is going to try and I think that the dogs come in. I think Vika's trying to hold them off, and Eleanor is going to try and do that. So take one more token. Okay, so she managed to do that, but the scientist has done something. I think so. Yeah, I think the scientist has done something, and I'm going to go straight to the next action to see what that is. Because we look in horror as we see that the scientist Okay, this one just jumps out immediately. So we've got this icon here. I think he has switched a like kind of sent a signal through the building to basically flood it. He's saying like evacuate the building, everyone to evacuate, and they've set it up so that the Wailing Falls basically is kind of diverted into this building, into the laboratory with the goal of flooding it. So he's planning to flood it. So I'm gonna. Is there? We kind of grab him and go. How do we stop it? So, no, now we're gonna ask where are the children. Oh, I really want to incorporate that, but I don't know how. I think so. I think the children have already been taken out. So I think I'm going to use this to indicate that they've been kind of led away. I know it's kind of someone who's kind of lost, but I'm going to say they've been led away, or they're being led away. And two, there's something about the Shruma. Let me see if I can use an idea token or something, because I think this would be a great way to link the two together. I think we I think the scientist says, "Don't worry about the children," and he kind of points out the window, and we see the children kind of being led up a cliff face, and they're being led and guarded by the Shruma, which I think we said they're not. Did we say how intelligent they were? I think generally they weren't. We just said they're mushroom creatures. So I think the Shruma are kind of, I don't know if they're being used, but the Shruma basically are leading the children up into the hills. And there are like one or two kind of bringers there as well, kind of guarding them. So the building's flooding, children are being taken away. This might be some clue as to the link between Damona's parents and the Shruma. So we are going to head. I think we're going to try and get out. Well, let me roll these and see what we get. So I think we go in search of the I think we're going to run to the control center to basically try and like stem the flow of the water. And on our way there, we are attacked by I think as we're running there, I think Damona actually turns. I thought she was going to kind of join our side, but I think when we're not looking, she does she? I think she's just going to escape actually. So I think she accuses us. She says, you've you and the Guardians, you've messed everything up, and you've ruined, my chances of ever getting rid of this despair, or any hope I have of fighting this despair. And I think we are going to plead with her that you have to understand we'll do everything in our power to help you. And I think, again, we summon our kind of Mokon of trust. Obviously, you just have to trust us that we're not going to lead you to despair. Okay, so I think she believes us, but she says you're going to have to prove it. Well, I think while we're talking, I think someone is going to creep up behind us. I think the I think it's a scientist. I think I'm going to, instead of introducing the room, I think there's I'm going to say that the scientist has been joined. It's power of Prisma. That's the flooding. I'm trying to think what else I could introduce. Yeah, I think the scientist kind of uses this distraction as an opportunity. And he's got guards with him. I think he's got other followers with him. And he points and says, there they are, stop them. And they start kind of blasting at us in the corridor. And I think the first thing we're going to do is dive for cover to see if we can get out of the way. No. And I think we're unable to dive for cover, and we're captured. So I think we have to kind of raise our hands and say, put your hands up. Don't touch anything. And I think as we're standing there, we can either wait for help. As we're standing there, I think Jasan is going. Oh no, Jasan he's been injured. So I think he is going to try and summon Inu as a way to distract the soldiers long enough so that maybe he can kind of slip away, or we can get help. So I think he's going to summon Inu with the intention of trying to distract them, maybe kind of playing up his injury. Okay, so he succeeds. I think they managed to distract them. And they are going to distract them, and I think they are going to run for it. I think to try and get back to Omax, where the others are, to try and catch up with them. Okay, so they managed to run through the corridors, like taking corners, skidding one way, racing, whilst the others are kind of blasting them from behind. But I think they run to a dead end. Or they run to where the exit is, and it's filling with water. No, they get to the chamber actually. So they finally get to the chamber where the kind of the control is for the flooding. And when they get there, it's a kind of a dead end. So there's no way out, and the soldiers catch up with them. So I think they are going to try one last time to grab the I think they need to stop them first. So it's filling up. Well, I think the first thing they're going to do is stop the flooding. So they've got 2 actions. So they're going to try and I think Damona is going to try and shut off the generator, and Vika is going to kind of with Elnor and Jorah try and take down the guards. So it's kind of a dual thing. So I'm going to do the generator first. No. But so I don't think she gets it on the first go, but she's kind of heaving on it, and if she gets some help, a little bit of help from someone to be able to get it closed. So I think so they don't quite get what they want. I think, well, maybe the fact that they're doing that distracts them long enough for the others with their attack and their attempt to take them out. Okay, so they manage to take out the guards. But I think the scientist is able to flee, and he kind of, threatens them that you are you've run out of time, and if you live, so I think what's happening is the water's rising, and the scientist is like, do I take them out or do I run? And I think he decides to kind of look after himself first, and he goes to leave, but he turns back and says, if you make it out of here alive, I will make it my personal duty to ensure that all of you experience the full wrath of despair, or the full weight of despair on you. And he turns and leaves. Ooh, cliffhanger. So I think the episode ends with our heroes. The water's rising. So maybe what he does is, as he turns, he kind of like slams the door, and the kind of security door comes down around our heroes. So they're trapped in this room. Granted, it's the one that has the means to turn off the flooding, but he's kind of slammed the door down on them, and they are trapped there at the end of the episode. I think that's a fitting way to leave it, and I think they're kind of all looking at each other. So the question is, do I create a character sheet for? I don't think so. I think she's more of an NPC, Jorah. So yeah, that was an interesting opening. I like that they've kind of brought the Shruma into it, tied up with the children. So I think they need to. The thread is rescue the children. Rescue the children from the burners and Shruma. And the other thread is basically escape the laboratory. So Wailing Falls Laboratory. Cool. Yeah, that is it. Hope you enjoyed the episode. Hope you're enjoying how the various story cubes are actually kind of inspiring different kinds of narratives and plot as well. And yeah, I hope how you're enjoying how I'm interpreting the cubes, because I am pushing them to their limit. So if you want to watch any of the previous episodes, you can find us on YouTube in particular, as we are Hub Games. We have a playlist there with all of the episodes on it. The episodes go out daily at 10 o'clock, which is GMT, or 5 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, if you want to watch them live. You can follow me as Rory O'Connor, and both, I'll do our pitch, both Untold and Prisma Arena are available to buy as well from the We Are Hope Games website. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll be back tomorrow at 10 a.m. for episode 23 of Prisma Arena, the animated series. Have a great day, and I'll see you tomorrow. Take care. Bye.